Welcome, everyone, to the L7C podcast, NFL edition. Today, we have the producer, the star, Justin Akindele. How are you doing today, man?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. How are you doing today, my man?
I'm doing good. Another crazy day at work. Crazy, crazy day, but that's neither here or there. I'm ready to talk some NFL with you. I'm ready for you to drop them gems to the people. I'm ready to hear it all. So where do you want to start? You want to start with yesterday's game?
Yeah, we can start with yesterday's game. That's fine.
Okay. Well, yesterday we had another trash bowl, an NFC East matchup between the Eagles and the New York Football Giants. Eagles came out on top, 22-21, came back from a double-digit lead. What about 7 minutes to go in the fourth quarter? Justin, when you watched this game, was there anything that popped out to you?
Yeah, I was kind of surprised at how well the Giants were playing. The Eagles tend to play down to their competition, but for most of that game, it looked like well, actually, the game was trash, but like it looked like the Giants were about to win in the fourth quarter. They're up by 11. I was ready to turn it off, and then Carson Wentz, he does just enough to make you think that he just might not be trash. He just does that little bit amount that makes you think he might not be trash, but he still sucks too.
I think the game changed in the fourth quarter when the Giants were up 11 and Daniel Jones threw that pass at Ingram and he dropped it.
Yeah, that lost them the game. If that pass is completed, the Giants win the game. The Eagles are 1-5.
Yeah, but I agree with that. The Giants, their defense, I thought they were getting good pressure on Carson. Like he looked like he was on the ground a lot. It looked like a lot of throws were hurried, but they couldn't get to him when it mattered most. And then the touchdown was completed to a 5'6" wide receiver, fully covered. So they both suck. What'd you think of that run by Daniel Jones?
Now Daniel Jones be doing that. He can score a little bit. I thought he was definitely going to score, but hey, it happens. It definitely happens.
That's a Giants thing to do. And with that win, the Eagles are in first place of the NFC East. But you can't talk about the NFC East without the Cowboys. Two weeks ago on our last podcast, I was talking about the Cowboys struggles, and I asked you if a coach may have to go, maybe Big Mike, and you said it's the first season, COVID, all of that. Fast forward 2 weeks later, everything's exploded in the Cowboys. You got people going to reporters saying the coaches don't know what they're doing. They're not prepared. What, Justin, what's happened to your Cowboys, man?
It's just another year of high expectations and trash football. Like, it's ridiculous. Let me give you some of these defensive rankings. Cowboys are ranked 32 in scoring defense. That means everyone's scoring against us. Dead last in the league in 27 in yards, 38-10 loss against the Cardinals on Monday in front of the world to see. It was embarrassing, to be quite frank. You just watched Patrick Mahomes get that big win earlier, and you're like, oh, man, Kyle and the Cowboys maybe might do something. And then that whole game was just an absolute disaster. Zeke fumbled twice, and he been fumbling. Those two fumbles were his fifth of the season. Those were 4 and 5 of the season. It's only been 7 games, and it's 5 fumbles. Just absolutely unacceptable. I'm with you at this point. After the season, 5 Big Mike. I'm done with him. I've seen it. I've seen enough.
Big Mike's got to go. That defensive coordinator is butterball trash. You guys are on pace to give up the most points in NFL history. The Cowboys are. And I personally don't get it. I see the talent on the team. I see people like Zeke. I see people like Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper just decides to play whenever he wants to play. When you really need him, you can't get him the ball for some reason, even though y'all paid him some money. Zeke's out here fumbling more than I've ever seen him fumble in my life in 1 year. I don't know what's going on with him. Andy Dalton, that was just bad. And then that defense, it just looks like they're not trying. Y'all have talent on defense. You paid people on the defense before you paid Dak. So where are those leaders at?
Not there. Like, the defense is just so bad. And then on Monday, the Cowboys offense wasn't helping in the slightest. Zeke, those 2 turnovers were in our own territory. So those were 14 points for the Cardinals right off the bat. So the offense isn't helping the defense at all. The whole starting line that started week one is out right now. So I guess that's kind of an excuse, but no, like the offense turns the ball over too much. And when your offense is not good and you got a bad defense, your offense has to support them somehow. You got to give the ball to Zeke, run the ball. You can't be throwing the ball 40 times a game and turn the damn thing over when you have a shitty defense. The defense that literally allows the most points in the NFL. You have to support that defense somehow. And they're just not doing it.
What do you think about those players going to the reporter? I think it was Jenny Slater from Fox, who they trust the most, and they went to her and she broke that story. What is that? Do you like that, or would you rather have that be in house? Because they didn't even put their names on it.
Going to the media is a little skep, if you ask me. Didn't have to do that, but hey, I get it. Like they're playing so bad, they got to protect themselves at this point because the film they're putting out is just terrible. They got at this point, they got to start thinking about their next job at this point. So yeah, if you can't go to anyone in the organization, which you probably can because Jerry Jones has an open offense, I guess you can go to the media, but that don't really sit well with me going to the media about that type of stuff.
And then you guys play the other trash team in the NFC East, the Washington football team, who still don't have a name and stated they might not have a name even next year. How big is this game for the Cowboys?
In the grand scheme, not that much because we still play the Eagles twice. So those are only games that honestly matter. At this point, like the division in hand, but like the team's not good. Like even if they do make the playoffs, it's just going to be one and done. And the issues that we're watching every single week are still going to be issues. So at this point, shit, I want to torpedo at this point and just tank at this point.
Wow. Man, if the Cowboys started to tank with all that talent, all that money y'all spent, and there'd be a lot of people gone.
It'll be, hey, get rid of them all at this point. Like, they're going out and embarrassing. Like, they're embarrassing at this point. Like, I can't even trust them to give me a good Sunday anymore. Fuck them.
I want to go to another team who's doing a lot better than the Cowboys, but they are also getting a lot of flack, and it's the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns are 4-2. Like, the Cleveland Browns are 4-2, and they are getting raked through the coal mines. One particular, Baker Mayfield, because of his awful game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, I'm going to ask you, do you think the media is overreacting with Baker, underreacting, just right? Like, what do you see when you watch the Browns?
I think the media is just right about the Browns. The team is stacked. The offensive line is doing great right now. You have weapons galore, Odell Beckham, Jarvis Landry, Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb before he got hurt. I don't think they're overacting off. Let me give you some numbers. Here is who the Browns beat. They beat the Cincinnati Bengals, the Washington football team, the Dallas Cowboys, trash.
Mm-hmm.
And the Indianapolis Colts. Baker's numbers there are 72 for 113, 64% completion points, 8 touchdowns, 3 picks, sacked 5 times. Pretty decent numbers. 2 losses, the 2 teams that are above in his division, the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Baltimore Ravens. He throws for 30. He's 31 for 57, 54% completion percentage, 2 touchdowns and 3 picks. So the numbers pretty much say it. When Baker's playing against the good teams, he doesn't do well.
Wow. That's pretty. So what do you do? They play the Bengals Sunday. They should win that game. Then they'd be 5-3, which is just crazy. Putting a 5-3 record next to a Cleveland Browns team. Are you saying with Baker that it's just is it preparation against the big teams? Is it just he plays bad? How can you remedy that?
I just think that he's not a number 1 pick. And the Browns are going to have a decision to make. They have all this talent. The quarterback at this point is supposed to be the one that glues everything together. And they can't really make a run in the playoffs this year with all that talent, year 2 with all that talent. You got to think about replacing Baker Mayfield at this point. Like, you're going to have to pay him and give him 30-plus mil. And once you start giving him 30-plus mil, you're not going to be able to afford Jarvis Landry or Beckham, all those guys. So it's something that the Browns really going to have to think about if they can't get the job done with Baker. And all the talent that's around him right now.
Okay. Well, I got some pushback on that because we are talking about the Cleveland Browns, and they are trash. This is a team that didn't win a game in a year, only won one game. Hugh Jackson, they are booty ball trash. And the fact that we're talking about they can't get it done in the playoffs, I feel like that's a huge step because we're talking about the Cleveland Browns potentially even in the playoffs. So wouldn't this year be the let's get in the playoffs, see what you do? Then the next year, all right, we've been to a playoff game. Now we expect to win a game. Like, what are we talking about with the Browns? Talking about if they don't do something in the playoffs? Because they are the Browns. They suck.
Well, I mean, if you have all that talent, like, you got to do something with it at that point. I know the culture isn't there, but, like, shit, you got Odell Beckham, Jarvis Landry, Kareem Hunt. You know, they have a top 5 rated offensive line now. Like, the offensive line isn't an issue. Defense is decent. Like, what's your damn excuse? I mean, I know your division's good, but, like, you got to go to the playoffs and do something. If they don't make it to the playoffs or they're go to the playoffs and it's looking ugly, it's like, what are you going to do with Baker? Like, I know he's had 4 head coaches in 4 years, but, like, I don't know.
You were naming some of those players. Someone like Odell, Odell's been to one playoff game, and he played god-awful. So it's not like he knows anything about winning in the postseason. So it's just one of those double standard things that it's always on the quarterback. But I'm looking around all the people you just named. None of them know what it's like to even be in the playoff. So I think it's more of a culture thing. But you have a hot take about the Browns if things go south.
Yes, I do. If this season just ends up spiraling out of control, I do not think the Browns are going to pick up Baker's 5th-year option. And I think the Browns are going to try to trade for Sam Darnold when the Jets get the first overall pick.
Why are you so high on Sam? I'm not high on Sam at all. I don't see it. But why are you so high on him?
Because he just carries that team. Like, I know they're not good, but, like, if you had Adam Gase coaching you and the rest of all the offensive talent that the Jets do not have, I think the Jets are honestly ruining Sam Darnold. From what I've seen him play all the way back at USC, the man's a gamer. The dude can play. I just think the Jets are ruining him. I think he deserves another shot. He's a good kid. Doesn't run his mouth like Baker Mayfield does. I think that the league will give him another chance when the Jets get that first pick and they draft Trevor Lawrence.
Will they give him another chance? So there was another good quarterback who's on a practice squad, Josh Rosen. He's done. He's done. These young quarterbacks are getting shorter and shorter leashes. He's done. He didn't even get a chance because of the number. It might be the same situation that happened to Arizona with the Jets. They took Kyler Murray, got rid of Rosen, and then they take Trevor, get rid of Sam, depending on where he lands. He might be done. Another young quarterback who's done, Dwayne Haskins. He's out here getting fined now because he violated COVID rules. But his career is about to be over. Like they're cutting these leashes on these young quarterbacks shorter and shorter, which I don't understand when you compare to quarterbacks like Peyton Manning and Drew Brees and all of them. They had a lot longer to establish themselves, and those organizations were patient, and it paid off.
Yeah, you gotta also understand, like, 2020. There's just so many new quarterbacks coming up from college that are so good, and in Drew Brees' circumstance, he honestly got lucky because the Dolphins team doctor said his shoulder was fucked up. We don't want you, and the Saints doctor said it was all good. Drew Brees doesn't have the same career that he has if he's in Miami in the mid-2000s instead of New Orleans Saints. So a lot of it's luck. If we're being 1,000% real, you gotta get lucky.
That's true. And you were talking about Darnold. What if they trade for an older quarterback, an experienced quarterback, like a Matt Ryan?
I could see it. I could definitely see him trading for a Matt Ryan. But Matt Ryan is not it either. He hasn't really been doing too well since the Atlanta Super Bowl either.
But his defense is bad. His defense is terrible. It's the opposite of the Cowboys. You can't keep scoring. I mean, it's the same thing. You can't keep scoring, and your defense just lets them score too.
But I don't think Matt, like, when it comes to Matt Ryan, I don't think when we get to like the championship games, the Super Bowls against the upper echelon, against like the Patrick Mahomes types of the worlds, that he can compete at that level.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, but he's been surrounded with a crew, and it's crazy when you think of Matt Ryan. If you look at his stats, he's like I think eighth all time right now in total passing yards, something like that. Like he has an MVP. It's funny if he ever won one Super Bowl, he's an instant Hall of Famer.
Matt Ryan will probably be in the Hall of Fame even if he doesn't win a Super Bowl, just
I
off
don't know.
numbers.
Maybe stingy. They're stingy, but enough about these poo teams and mediocre teams. Let's talk about this big game coming up. Steelers and Titans, both 5-0. Right now, the spread on ESPN is Pitt minus 1.5, 1.5. Justin, where's your bet in this game? If I'm trying to make a bet on this game, where do I go?
Did you just look at that Steelers line just now?
Yeah.
All right. So I actually did bet on this game earlier. I'm taking the Steelers, by the way, and I got +1. So,
Okay.
so it looks like sharp money's coming out on the Titans. That's interesting. But yeah, I really like the Steelers here in this spot. Steelers have the second ranked scoring defense and the second ranked defense in yards allowed. They absolutely destroyed the Browns last week. The Titans offense, though, which is pretty much getting this week, is really good, really good defense in the Steelers versus a really good offense in the Titans. And Tannehill's absolutely been on fire. He's the third ranked quarterback on Football Outsiders, the analytical website that I get some of these numbers from. He's 70% on the season, 1,370 passing yards, 13 touchdowns, 2 picks. But I think the Steelers defense is going to impose their will on them and get the dub on Sunday.
Yeah, what you just said about Ryan Tannehill, I actually think that helps your Sam Darnold argument even more.
Yeah.
Because when you think of Ryan Tannehill, you think about when he was with Adam Gase and he was trash. And then ever since he left Adam Gase, this guy has been ball-playing.
On fire. I mean, the two quarterbacks ahead of them, Football Outsiders, is Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen. Like, those are two ahead of him. And I don't think Josh Allen should be second. I honestly think Russell Wilson should be second. That's a different story for a different day. But yeah, Tannehill has been killing it. It's not just Derrick Henry.
And with the Steelers, too, I remember last year a lot of people thought they were crazy because they traded for Minkah Fitzpatrick. It's really looking like the Steelers were definitely the winners of that trade because ever since he got there, that defense has become like the defense we used to see in the early, mid-2000s.
Yeah, it's like they've been shot out of cannons. The Steelers look really good. The Titans also are missing their starting left tackle. And the Steelers, their middle linebacker, Devin Bush, also tore his ACL last week, so he won't be playing. But I think those two being out will even themselves out, and I think the Steelers are just going to impose their will and win the game.
Pick it up.
It's going to be a good one, though. It's going to be a real good game. I can't wait for it.
Okay. Another team we got here, Seattle, who's also 5-0, going against the Cardinals at 4-2. This game got moved to the Sunday night game due to the Buccaneers and Raiders game potentially being in question since the offensive line of the Raiders got COVID, so they're waiting to see how they're going to proceed with that game if it's happening on Sunday. And I think we both have Russell Wilson as the MVP frontrunner at this point in time.
Yeah.
And the Cardinals, surprising to me too, they're 4-2. What has changed with the Cardinals? Is it just because they got DeAndre Hopkins and Kyler Murray has another year, and they're balling?
Yeah, I think DeAndre Hopkins helps that offense a lot. A good, reliable receiver, one of the best in the league. It's going to be a reliable target for Kyler Murray. Also, Kyler Murray in his second year is just getting better. Cliff Kingsbury getting the hang of this NFL coaching thing. Kyler Murray is 66% passing, 4,487 yards, 10 touchdowns, 6 picks, but also 6 rushing touchdowns. So he's a fun guy to watch. And the Cardinals, I watched him get my team a licking. So
Currently on ESPN, they have Seattle minus 3.5. Are you taking that, or are you going Cardinals?
I think I'm done betting against Russell Wilson. I'm not. I don't think I'm going to bet on this game. I don't know, but I think I'm leaning towards the Seahawks in this one. They're 6-3 off of buys since Pete Carroll's been the coach. Number one offense in the league in points, 8th in yards. Russell Wilson's killing it. DK Metcalf's killing it. Good, solid run game. Even though the Cardinals' defense is sneakily good, second in points, they don't give up a lot of points. So that's going to be a nice little matchup to watch. But I think the Seahawks are going to. I think the Seahawks are going to win the game. Probably take the Cardinals with the points, 3.5. I like that number. I'll take the Cardinals with the points, but Seahawks win.
There's another big game I want to hit on, too, that's flying underneath the radar. It shouldn't, because it's the Monday night game. The 5-1 Bears at the 4-2 Rams. We all know Nick Foles is the quarterback now for the Chicago Bears. They got Khalil Mack. The Bears have Aaron Donald, Jared Goff. Right now, the spread on ESPN is the Rams -6. Are you taking that, or what are you thinking about this game? Because I feel like it's not getting enough press for a Monday night game.
It's not. The Steelers and Titans are leading all the talk right now, but the Bears are a tough football team. Those guys, after watching them against the Buccaneers, they really showed me something. They are just a tough, scrappy team. I don't think the Rams are going to beat them by 6. I would definitely take the Bears in that spot. They've covered the past 2 weeks, I believe. I bet on them 2 weeks ago against the Buccaneers. But yeah, the Bears are definitely a scrappy team. Running game's the offense is a little iffy with Nick Foles. They only got one receiver to throw to, Allen Robinson. No running game really to speak of, but the defense is absolutely terrifying. So that should be a little rough on Jared Goff. I don't know why the Rams are favored so high. That's a weird one. That's weird.
And you talked about the Bears game that they had with Tampa Bay a couple weeks ago. And as before we even started recording, the breaking news, which came out of left field because everyone was telling us he was going to Seattle, Antonio Brown signing a 1-year deal with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This just happened tonight as of now. So, Justin, what is your
This just happened? Are you kidding me? While we're on right now?
Yep, Antonio Brown signing a 1-year deal with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Oh, shit. Tampa?
He's going down there Saturday. He's expected to play Week 9 against the Saints, and we know who loves the Saints, and we know he's not going to be happy.
Wow. El Capitan. I hope you're right. Oh, man.
And this isn't from a weak news. This is coming from Adam Schefter.
Wow, I didn't even know they were in the AB sweepstakes. I thought he was on both. After Russell Wilson said he wanted AB, I thought it was a done deal. He was going to be a Seahawk, but I mean AB. I don't know how I feel about him in Tampa. AB is pure cancer. I mean, cancer with a goddamn capital C. And the discipline there is already a little shaky. I mean, Tampa Bay leads the league in penalties. So, I don't know. I mean, on paper, that receiving core is the best in the league with AB in the slot easily. But let's see if he in shape and can play.
Now you got an offense with Tom Brady, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Gronk, and now Antonio Brown.
Don't forget about the running backs, Leonard Fournette and Ronald Jones. They got a running game, too.
And Ronald Jones. Leonard Fournette hasn't been getting that much burn, though, since he's been put on the team.
Yeah, Leonard Fournette hasn't only had one big game, but Ronald Jones has been a good runner for him, too. So
yes, Ronald has been good, yes. But they have a team, and I think they also have a very underrated defense. I don't think they're underrated anymore.
It's not even underrated. They're a top 5 defense, fact. Going back to the shitty Cowboys. I think when the Cowboys should fire Big Mike and pick up Todd Bowles, the defensive coordinator
For the head coaching job?
for Tampa Bay. I know he coached the shitty Jets, but that's the Jets. I think in Dallas with the support of Jerry Jones and the Jones family that he'll be able to really do something in Dallas. Really do.
That's good. Because I'm not going to lie about the Tampa Bay defense, because just when they were coming in fantasy-wise, I had to drop them because they were going against Aaron Rodgers, and you saw the Packers were just embarrassing everybody. So I was like, yeah, I want no part of that. Lord and behold, they embarrassed Aaron Rodgers, which is you don't see too often when Aaron Rodgers throwing 2 picks in back-to-back possessions, one going for 6.
Yeah, that was a shocking game. I had the Packers in that game. I bet on them, and after those 2 picks, I realized what the game was about to be, and I went to sleep.
So with AB there now, what does this do for you in terms of Tampa Bay's Super Bowl contention? Are they getting closer to the top of the NFC? Are they still like second, third, fourth, fifth area?
Well, I
What do you think?
I thought they were getting close to the top by the way they were playing without AB. So that's just another weapon. My only concern with Tampa Bay right now is if they can limit the penalties and keep AB from being a cancer. And if they can do that, I think they're easily in the AFC and in the NFC Championship game.
Yeah, because those penalties are terrible. So estimate, how long does AB last the whole season?
I think he does.
I don't think he does. Just unless I see something completely different in the press conferences, I don't think he does. I think he'll be done. I'll give him till week 4. I mean, week 4 of him playing, so his 4th week of playing, and he'll be out again. And then that'll be it. Probably.
He's been out the league for a while at this point. You got to change at some point. The league already let you know we don't need you.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see. We're gonna have to see. Justin, man, what's the good bets to go on this week? What are some sneaky bets? What can make us some money this week?
Some sneaky ones. I got you on this one. So speaking of El Capitan Saints, I like the Panthers in this spot. Getting a touchdown, 7 points against the Saints, and the Saints do not have Michael Thomas or Emmanuel Sanders. That is confirmed. I don't know if Alvin Kamara and Drew Brees are going to be able to carry that offense to cover that spread. To be totally honest with you, they might win the game, even though defensive penalties have been kind of hurting the Saints' defense, and Carolina can put some points up on the board. But I really do like the Panthers. And this
like the Panthers? Oh, okay. And Panthers are quarterbacked by Teddy Bridgewater, who was the backup quarterback for the Saints. And if people remember, when Drew went out, Teddy Bridgewater led them to a 5-0 record when he was out. Any other sneaky ones out there?
Yeah, I got 2 more. I like the Lions this week getting 2 points against the Falcons. It's 2 very inconsistent teams. I just think the Falcons aren't as good. They had a big win last week against the Vikings. They played really well, the best game of the season for them. So I just think the natural letdown is going to be them losing to the Lions this week. And then also the Jacksonville Jaguars against 7.5 points against the Chargers. I don't know why the Chargers are a 7.5 point favorite. Like, I know they played the Saints in Tampa Bay pretty tough, but are they really that good? I know the Jaguars aren't good at all, but they can score a little bit. They can put some points up on the board. So I'll take that one. I think that game's going to be pretty close.
I want to ask you about Green Bay and Houston, because last time we were on, I forget who was playing Houston, but you didn't take Houston. And I told you that Deshaun was due for a big game, and he had that big game. And the Packers defense does not impress me. Can Deshaun pull some magic in that one? Is that a sneaky one, or do you think Packers are coming in angry? They're just going to blow Houston out.
Green Bay is going to whip the dog shit out of them this week after getting embarrassed on national TV. That was the only other game on last week was the Dolphins against the Jets. That was the only game everyone was watching last week. The Packers are going to whoop their ass. I don't see Houston winning at all.
I don't either, but I mean, I don't know. That defense, if Deshaun can get busy, but we'll see. Any other tips, man? We're at the end.
We're at the end. Damn, that felt quick.
Yeah. I mean, we hit everything we wanted to hit. We are at the end, man. We talked about the big games. I mean, we had that bombshell during time of recording of AB signing to the Bucks. We were not expecting that, so we hit that. And we talked about the bad teams in the NFC East. We hit the Browns. We hit the big games. We hit every major thing in the NFL.
Oh man, God, what?
You did, but Justin did say that we might have to come back next week potentially talk about some trade deadline.
Yes, the trade deadline in the NFL is fastly approaching, a little under 2 weeks away. So I can see some good teams might be out here trying to make some moves for their Super Bowl pushes.
So I know y'all usually get the NFL twice every 2 weeks, but y'all gonna get a bonus one this week coming. Y'all getting a bonus one talking about the trade deadline.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm looking forward to that one.
All right, Justin, anything you want to plug before we sign off here today?
Nothing really. Just check out all the content on the L7C. Check out all the work that we're doing. Check out the wrestling podcast. Our wrestling expert Jacob wants to beat me out this week, so give him some views. Give him some views. Help him out this week. Help my man's out this week because he really feels some type of way about me leading in the having the most views on my podcast. So if y'all can help my brother out as a wedding gift for him, give him top spot.
You gonna be okay with that? You giving him the plug? He might pass you by Monday.
Hey, that's fine. I'll give him the plug. He can have it. It means more to him, obviously.
Oh man, yeah, I echo what Justin said. Check out all the content. I know last week we were chill. This week we're coming out with a lot of fire. So we're trying to make it up to y'all. Check out the wrestling. Check out the Dragon Ball if you're into that. We got some more coming down the way. OSU Buckeyes. The Buckeyes play this Saturday, so we're going to have a review episode potentially. So we got stuff coming. Just, you know what to do. Subscribe to the L7C on YouTube. Subscribe to us on Spotify, Apple Music, Google Podcasts, all that stuff. So you know where to find us, man. That's really it. Justin, thanks again for dropping the gems. I appreciate it, man.
No problem. And when y'all do that college football Buckeye podcast, let me know. I know my college football too. I'm not in the weeds as y'all, but I know my stuff on the college game as well.
I mean, we're potentially trying to do it potentially on Sunday because and the captain's coming because he's going to be mad because of the Saints. He needs something to cheer him up.
Yeah, the Saints are. I don't know about the Saints this year. I've been on the Saints being trash all year. They'll still be a wild card team, but I don't think they're gonna win the South. Byron, sorry.
Oh man, but we're trying to do it Sunday during one of the bad games, but we'll see. We'll definitely let you know. But all right. Thank you everyone for listening to the L7C podcast. You guys take care.
See you guys soon. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the L7C podcast. Be sure to like, rate, review, and subscribe to the channel. Follow us on all social media platforms, and we'll be talking to you guys soon. Take care.